So just a quick look at the propagation bench. So I have parsley here. It's both curly and flat. Flat is actually way more popular with the market, so I see it a little bit more than that. So I do 4 seeds per module cell, and germination, yeah, it's pretty good. Probably took about 10 to 12 days for germination. Behind here I have coriander, so this is 6 seeds per module cell, and it's 150 cell tray. So once the season gets going, then I'll seed that every 10 days just for a continuous supply. And just have one sowing of basil here. This came on really well, and you can see here the true leaves have developed. So I have one set of true leaves, so I'll probably put those on into smaller pots this week, and I'll leave them in those little pots for another couple of weeks, probably until the end of April, and then they'll go out into the ground in the polytunnel. I kind of baby them a little bit, but I just want to keep them a bit of heat. If it's cold on certain nights or if we have frosts, I'll put them back on the bench, and there'll be a little tiny bit of heat just to protect them. So you wouldn't necessarily have to pot them on, you could go straight into the polytunnel, but that's the way I do it. And I probably do 3 succession sowings of basil, and that gets me, then I'll start harvesting these guys in May, end of May, and then that'll bring me up until the first frost. So I did this sowing in beginning of March, and then I'll do another one end of April, and then another one end of May. Here I have tomatoes. I seeded them a little bit late this year. I wasn't in a big rush, so they were seeded on the, what date was that? The 12th of March. And it's now the 24th. So yeah, they're in 77 trays, and they'll sit in those for another couple of weeks until the true leaves come on, and then I'll pot them on into bigger pots. Have onions here. For the last couple of years I've been sowing onion seeds over sets, and I did well, some of them, there's a couple of, I think there's 2 different varieties here. So I have one where I have like 5 seeds. They were older seeds, so I kind of put more in them, and then I'll divide them up when they go outside. They'll go probably spacing, it'll probably be 20 centimeters or 15 to 20 centimeters apart in the row. I also have some scallions here, so I multi-sow again just for scallions. So I have like 8 to 10 seeds, and then they'll go out like that in bunches. And these are leeks, so I just kind of broadcast the seeds in these little trays. And what I do then is I actually I heel them in the polytunnel in rows, just short rows, and I let them develop on until they're about like kind of small scallions. So I just find that kind of forces them on a bit, and then I don't plant them outside until the beginning of June. So you don't have to do that, but I do kind of a 3-step seed tray kind of into the bed in the polytunnel for a couple of weeks, and they're almost like healed in, you know. I just kind of make a little drill, put them in, and then I'll just drive them on another bit there, because I'll give them a bit of food. I'll put some seaweed dust in, and then I'll transplant out in early June. So that's the prop bench there. And then I'm just going to move briefly down here. I have some stuff in seed trays, so you can see there's some beetroot. I did some beetroot again, they're multi-sown, so they're probably like 5 to 6 seeds in some of them, and I'll probably just transplant them out like that in little bunches. I'll probably thin them to about 4 per bunch, and then I'll space them probably 25 centimeters in the row. Yeah, some salads and some this was just some dwarf kale, and there was some trials I was doing. Someone gave me a few the runner beans, so there's some seeds coming up there. There's a little bit of mizuna there, and some broccoli. And yeah, that's it for the prop bench.